Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I'd like to introduce one of our senior students, Jacob Barron. Jacob, come on up. Jacob's been with us since the beginning of this year, and honestly, like so many other students, they come here a little bit deficient in their credits, but you know what, this guy turned it around really quickly, and actually was ready to go back at the semester, but because he found it much more comfortable here, and he liked the setting and the staff here, he decided he wanted to stay. So we're fortunate to have him stay with us to graduate with our graduating senior class this year. And so after graduating, he actually plans on, he's really interested in architecture and engineering, and he really wants to start off at Citrus College and eventually go on to a 4-year such as Cal Poly and more. So Jacob?
I'd like to thank Mr. Iro for that wonderful introduction. I'd like to ask everyone to stand for their pledge of allegiance. Place your right hand over your heart, ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jacob. Item 1. Thank you, Mr. Varela.
Again, thank you for having us over here today. I always like to at least visit the school site. And just a kind of a little trivia, I don't know if you know who named Hillside High School. Anybody? Actually, the students picked it out. They had a bunch of names, and they actually picked out Hillside High. It's just a little trivia, just because I've been on the board so long. Again, thank you for hosting us.
Thank you, Mr. Varela. Mr. Fifield?
I did have the pleasure of going to Upland High School, I think it was a couple weeks ago, and saw the road show put on by our superintendent. It was excellent, it was very informative, and a lot of good questions from the Upland High teachers, and enjoyed that presentation. We also, I was also able to attend the Whittier review at the school board, the district office, which was also attended by a large group of Upland High teachers, and it was also very informative. And again, I was sort of fly on the wall, and to hear all the insights and thoughts that they had, and the ideas on how to move forward to better, look like Whittier High School is very, very informative. So I appreciate that. I attended both the home Upland High basketball games, the boys basketball games. The first one was a good one. The second one was very good too, but the outcome was as great. But great games by the team both times. I unfortunately wasn't able to hit all the other CIF teams or games, but very proud of all the sports at the Upland High School and awarded. So I also was able to attend the HEF Awards, and Ms. Lapis, Mr. Rich, and Ms. Chavez. I'd never been there before, and that's really an amazing event. If you guys ever have a chance to go, you've probably all been there, but that's the first time I've been there, and they really do a great job in recognizing the students, and all the hard work the teachers put in was great. My last comment is cameras at Upland High School. I'm not sure if we can get a report possibly about just, I assume the cameras all up and high go to someone's computer, and I know that they work most of the time. But my question is, are they also attached to the superintendent's office or the police department?
They are. They are attached. They're web-based, so we have links to anybody offsite who needs to have access to that program. But I do have access from my office to all of the surveillance cameras at Upland High School and throughout the district.
Could we just get an up?
Like a board report?
Yeah, maybe they're unfounded, but I'm hearing rumors that they're not all working.
Always working in the right places.
There's usually not
Sure.
the greatest hit ratio. There's could be with everything that's happened in the news today, as well as the theft that we've had at our schools for different subjects. So please double check that all those are working, and the police department, as well as the superintendent and anyone else can log on to those whenever they can.
Sure.
I hope my rumors are false. But other than that, that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Fifield. And thank you, too, for all the good work you're doing with the HEF Foundation. You're putting in a lot of time and effort. Check your cell phones, everyone.
Keep doing that. It was on already. All right, well, welcome. This is my second year here at Hillside, and we've had a lot of changes within the last 2 years. And so before I actually introduce our students, I would like to show a short video clip that was created by Mr. Connor, Mr. Watson, and some students as well, which kind of highlights Hillside as well as some of the changes that have progressed. And we'll go ahead and start with that for each of you. Help us out with that. As you can see, we've had quite a few changes. I'd like to again thank Mr. Connor and Mr. Watson, one of our new staff members who helped put together along with the students. One of the things that we actually didn't even get to highlight is the fact that including our in the community support and the parent participation has actually increased in the last 2 years. We started off with the traditional back to school night and all that stuff, and we didn't have that much of a success. We had less than 5% of our students and parents showing up. So since last year, we've switched it over to more of a parent-teacher conference / report card night, and we've seen about an increase to almost 40% of our students and parents coming. So that's a very big improvement for us. So we're getting a lot more parent support, and so that's a big change. Another change that we started to do, as you can see here, we really started to look at what our students are doing. And right here, what you're seeing right here is one of the last projects in our art class, which is what they call street art, according to the teacher. And so we wanted you to be able to share that with you guys. And also, another change that we're doing here is we're actually starting to put more student work throughout the campus. And we actually have one of our first pieces that just came up yesterday. And it was created by one of our students, Nathaniel. And he's actually the first piece for us. We actually have another piece that's almost done, except the problem is the student who worked on that piece went back to Upland. So he was credit ready and went back. So as soon as that one, we get him back to finish it, we'll put that one up. But the idea is to get a bunch of these panels with student work throughout the campus. And so I'd like to, this is Nate, and he's one of our seniors here. I had the pleasure of meeting Nate as an 11th grader here, and he's been credit ready for a while, just like Jacob was, but decided, this is the place for him. This is where he's most comfortable, and really love the staff and his friends here, so he stayed. Nate's really passionate about music. He plays the acoustic guitar and also does vocals in his band. And kind of shy right now, I don't know why, because typically he's not like this. And I know once he's done here, he really wants to get a career in music and start off at Citrus College and eventually transfer to 4-year. So this is Nate. He's going to go ahead and talk a little bit about his art piece.
Anyways, well, this is my art piece. It's actually one of the first ones that we created. Me and my friend Ray, who left, made the other one. Explaining this art piece, I don't know actually how to explain it because it's mainly like how you look at it. But I got an idea from looking at it after I was done because I didn't start thinking about what it was until after I was finishing it. But what I started with was the road. Like everybody has a road to take, and mine was pretty much high school. And the road was actually first, then the mountains. Mountains represent obstacles in your way, but you always got that road in front of you. And then at the end of the road, there's all this, open space, ideas, your future. At the end of the road, there's your future. But it's a night sky, so your day's ending. My school year is pretty much ending, and my high school was ending. That's why there's a sunset. And at the end of the road, you're done. You got your future. The bird pretty much represents who you are, following where you're going to be. After you're done following the road, you're up there where the bird's at. And it's pretty much your imagination and your future of what you want to be after you're done with high school as a student. And as
Mr. Woodowski is one of our English teachers. He's been with us for the last 6 years now, I believe. He started off in education back in South Dakota, am I right?
That's correct.
Mr. Deleave? All right, back in South Dakota, and then took a little detour and went into the, had a little change of pace, went into the missionary, right? Kind of, a little bit. So I did that for a few years, and then has since returned back into education. And we're so lucky to have him. He's an exemplary English teacher. And today he's going to share some of the work some of his students have done.
Thank you. We've, at Hillside, since I've been here, the 6 years I've been here, we've had a pretty good history of participating in the Reflections PTSA contest. This year we had about 100 students or so participate, mostly writing essays and poems. And we narrowed it down to 7. We sent those 7 in and competing, basically Upland High School and Hillside competing, various works of literature and so on. And we sent 7 in. All 7 made it to the finals and moved on. And one of our students got first place in the essay literature contest, and another one of our students won a $100 gift card for his poem. So we're very pleased about that, and we have 3 of those students here to read their literature works here in just a moment. The topic this year was diversity is. So those are the topics you'll be hearing here in just a moment. Hillside, we always like to get any positive publicity we can. And we did get a very nice article in the Daily Bulletin. I'll read just a very little bit of it here. Here's a little bit from the Daily Bulletin. Several Upland High School and Hillside High School students took home awards this year in the Reflections program. The program, which has run for more than 40 years, offers students in grades K through 12 an opportunity to create works of art, literature, musical things, photography, and so on. This year, first place winner in literature was Hillside's Ryan Rulas, and he'll be reading his essay in just a few moments. Hillside's Ernie Perez won a $100 gift card during a raffle for his poem in the Reflection. We're very pleased, and I know Ernie was very happy to get that $100 as well. Our first student is going to come up here in just a moment, Chase Heffron. Chase, I had him in my senior English class in first semester. Incredibly intelligent young man, great detail in his work, reading, summarizing, tremendous detail, very creative. And Mr. Idle gave me a couple of little brief bio on him. Chase started with us during the fall. He came to us from Las Vegas. He plays a variety of instruments, drums, piano, trombone. He used to play in a band. Currently, he works at Smart Wireless Solutions, and his future goals are to attend Citrus Community College, and then transfer to UCLA for business law. So and I don't doubt at all that Chase is very capable. So Chase, come on up here now, and he's going to read his poem that he wrote.
Hello, my name is Chase Heffron, and this is the poem that I wrote for the diversity contest. I am me, and you are you. What I like may differ from you. I like green, and you might like blue. What I find false, you may find true. Her hair is pink, his hair is red, and she enjoys toast while he enjoys bread. He likes coals, and she likes them all. Opinions and beliefs differ for all.
Our next student also wrote a poem. We had 7 students and 3 courageous ones, and 4 that we couldn't quite encourage to come in, but they still did some very good work also. Our second student, very thoughtful young man. He sat in the back of my class, not for any bad reason, but you could always see the wheels were always turning in his mind. Very thoughtful, and his writing is always incredibly interesting. Excellent word choice. And always look forward to reading his essays, paragraphs, summaries, poems. And Ernie Perez, he's a 12th grader. He came to us last semester from Upland High School. His interests are art, writing, and film. His future goals are to graduate and get a job, to save money for college, and move out of the house. When I read that last part, I thought maybe I'd have you chat with my children a little bit too. But Ernie Perez, Ernie, and he's going to read his poem about diversity as well.
My poem is called Only What the Eye Can See. Diversity means brown, yellow, orange, pink, white, Christian, Catholic, Jewish, Rastafarian, atheist, Mormon, Greek, handicapped, nerd, bum, doctor, lawyer, hippie, teacher, postman, process servant, McDonald's employee, model, blogger, villain, philanthropist, comedian, bystander, racist. Diversity means the subtle, slight, oblivious, obvious, gigantic, ironic, mysterious, beautiful difference between you and me.
Our last reader tonight, Ryan Dulas, he got first place in the literature contest, and he wrote an excellent essay. Ryan has an incredible base of knowledge. He's a junior. It's a little bit intimidating sometimes. Every once in a while you have a student that you realize probably knows more than you do, so you have to kind of work your way through that, you know what I mean? But Ryan is right there with me, and sometimes I think he's a little bit ahead of me. Incredible base of knowledge, incredibly creative writer, one of the most creative writers that I've ever had the privilege of teaching. I always enjoy reading his work. He's an 11th grader. He came from Upland High School. His interests, he plays various instruments including piano, bass, guitar, harmonica, bugle, and learning the trombone. His career goal, he is interested in filmmaking. He wants to be a producer. His life goal, this doesn't surprise me, he wants to learn 8 different languages by being immersed in their culture by living in the country for a minimum of 1 year. I know he's working on, I think it's Latin right now, so very interesting. Ryan, come on up. He's going to read his essay that got first place in the
My selection is simply titled Diversity Means. Diversity, a word seemingly innocent but actually quite malicious. Why, might one ask, need only be explained in a mere essay. Diversity at its very core is a range of different things. Good examples of this are rainbows, supermarkets, or social societies. The problem, though, is that these differences do not strive to separate us. Rather, they uniquely bring us together. This is no more evident than in our customs and morals that we are taught, although in different contexts. Throughout the history of social man, 3 things have been common in what people value. Even in ancient societies, these things have been family, a higher power, and the community. A common misconception is that because water or natural barriers separate us, our customs and cultural makeup have been split as well. This frame of thought has led many to claiming we are not equal because we are separate, but that we are separate because we are equal. As we now know, this logic drives a wedge much further between us than religion or politics combined. 2 people are not different because they come from separate locations. They're uniquely similar for the fact that they both come from a family with a set of morals or guidelines. Diversity, once inspected closely, actually means nothing. It focuses on putting people into boxes rather than stating they are quite simply a human being. It is diversity that masks a culture so intertwined in itself as a group of separate cultures. This term leads many to believe that because something is different, that it must either be completely similar or be rejected, blinding them to the fact that it means nothing and prevents a social connection with their fellow man as a result. So beneath the simple facade of diversity making us separate but equal is nothing. The lines of diversity quickly become dissolved once they are defined as being the same thing.
Thank you very much. Thank you, the students, for participating. Thank you.
Well, that concludes our showcase. Do you have any questions or anything you'd like to ask?
I will ask for questions first, and then I'd like to have Nate, Chase, Ernie, and Ryan come forward one more time, please. Board members?
I would suggest that it's not the cool thing to do, but I've been at reflection, go to the reflection ceremony at Upland Elementary every year, and it's been long. I had red hair when I started. And I would really encourage the students who won their awards to be there. You have no idea how much the parents talk about those that in the high school that will come and read their piece if they're chosen to do it. You're really a good example to help the parents keep their kids in school, and there are other things than adding 2 + 2, and you can get to be a real student and find your life's goals by dipping in a little bit of everything you can. And by your presence there, I really encourage you to do that. You're going to set a good example for the students as well as help the parents make their points with their children. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lenz. Any other comments? Thank you.
No, I was going to say, again, it's just enjoyable to come here and just see the enormous talent that's here. I mean, I wish I could draw like this and have the depth, to have the insight to compose a poem. I've just gotten as far as Roses Are Red, that poem. But again, hats off to all of you. Again, thank you for the instructors and thank you for the parents and the young people that presented today. It was just amazing. Thank you. It made my day tonight. Thank you. My evening.
Work is incredible and very important. And you've said quite a few things actually, but I'm going to just ask for one more thought before you leave, and that is, what's the most important memory or learning experience that you'll take with you when you leave Hillside, Nate?
Well, pretty much everything, but the main thing is probably the best experience is actually hanging out with the teachers, because they actually relate to you. They actually know you and they actually talk to you. Like, I'm pretty good friends with Miss Baldwin. On her back there recording. Just the teachers, they're all with you.
Thank you very much. It's to you to take with you, and we so much appreciate you being here tonight and sharing your talent with us. Thank you so much. Chase. Thank you, Chase. That was an absolutely beautiful poem. Appreciate you being here tonight. So I'll put the same question to you. What's the most important piece of information or memory you'll take with you when you leave?
I think the most important memory I will have of Hillside is that it's really important to find what you're passionate about and stick with it. Because I have never found anything I was ever passionate about doing, like work, learning, anything. And basically, now that I've found a passion in certain few things, it actually pushes me forward, getting my goal done, getting school done, and doing what I need to do. Because life is real. You gotta do what you gotta do. It's not what I did for a while. So.
Also in the house can confirm that life is definitely.
Good job.
Ernie? Hi, Ernie. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Again, your poem was absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing it with us. So what will be your takeaway when you leave Hillside this year? As in, what's the most important piece of information or memory that you'll take away when you leave Hillside?
I don't know, while I'm here, I think the only thing is to get my work done. So it's the same thing, it's
Absolutely, focus is very important. Thank you again so much. I'd like to leave this with you, and we appreciate you being here tonight, Ernie. Hello, Ryan. That was an absolutely exquisite essay, and I do hope you make an appearance at Reflections tonight, because you definitely earned it. Ryan, what will be your most important takeaway from Hillside this year?
Probably as the, two number students that said before me, the teachers. That's all I can say about that.
That's absolutely enough, Ryan. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Iro, Mr. Connor, Mr. Watson, and Mr. W. Is it Wadolski?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all so much for being here tonight and for all the good work you're doing with these wonderful students.